investing in these funds, you get a diversified portfolio which decreases the risk. Not only that, you are getting the highest return, one of the highest return you can potentially get in a stock market. And yet, you can do all this with minimal effort, time, and cost. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki Sujadi. I create relatable contents to you millennials, such as financial and career related topics. So if you like this kind of contents, please do consider subscribing, because that is what this channel is going to be about. So today I want to touch on where you should invest your money in. And the simple answer to that is to invest in index fund or exchange traded fund. ETF for short. I know that sounds like a very complex word, and just hang in there because I'm gonna explain. Fund is pretty much where your investors put all the money in, and then there is a fund manager who pretty much decide where should they invest this money in. And that's where the index comes in. The fund manager will actually invest this pool of funds into indexes. For example, the S&P 500 index tracks the largest 500 companies in the United States. So in essence, when you're investing in index or ETF, you are pretty much investing in the economy as a whole. Okay, for example, the top 10 companies, which is like the Apple, Google, Alphabet, JP Morgan, and all other big companies, you're pretty much investing in the whole lot of them, in like one whole bundle of them, rather than investing in just one of the stocks. And that is really briefly what index fund or ETF is. They are usually interchangeable, but there are slight differences as well. But I'm not going to touch on that. Now, because of how the index fund works, because you're investing as a pool of companies that has been chosen by the index, which are usually the big companies, they are very diversified, okay? You're not just relying on the performance of one company, but you're relying on the performance of companies as a whole. And with this diversification, you are able to reduce the risks you are taking in. Because for example, if you have $100 and you just invest in, for example, like Tesla, and Tesla suddenly goes bust because Elon Musk just said something on the Twitter, your $100 might just go down like to $50. Or if Tesla just goes bankrupt, then definitely your $100 is gone. But then if you invest $100 in an index fund, you're investing really small bits and pieces into the companies in the index that has been chosen by the market. And it's relatively safe, because if you think that you're going to lose the $100 in the index fund, you're just saying that the top, for example, 500 companies in US is going to go bust at that point of time, which is, I gotta say, has to be some kind of apocalypse. So anyways, the first reason why you should invest in an ETF is because it is diversified. And the second reason to invest in ETF or index fund is because they are efficient. They don't take a lot of time, effort, and cost. Reason being, you don't have to evaluate a company's performance. You don't have to constantly look at the financial report and see whether you should buy or sell or hold, those kind of stuff, because you're just really investing in the whole market. So you don't really just care about one particular company, and therefore you don't have to choose one particular companies. You don't have to manage it, so that cut on the time and effort. And yet it's so cost efficient as well, because firstly, another types of investment is, for example, investing in real estate. Real estate takes a huge capital to start with. And that is why index investing can give you an edge, because you don't need large capital to start investing in ETFs or index funds. So that's why. Second reason is efficient. Thirdly is effective. What I mean by effective is that you are not compromising on the return that you get with the ETF and index fund. There's a famous example where Warren Buffett actually challenges hedge fund managers in 2008, where he says that index fund is going to outperform any of the actively managed fund by the hedge fund managers. Now, one of the company actually took part in the challenge, and what happened after 10 years is that the index fund actually outperformed the actively managed funds by a very significant value. Okay, which shows that index fund is actually one of the best return that you can potentially get in the stock market. And you're not compromising on the risk, and therefore you get lower return and all that stuff, which, well, arguable, but to a certain extent, it is true. Now, you might be wondering why I did not touch on compounding. Don't get me wrong, compounding works and makes this index and ETF investing so much more powerful. But because compounding actually works in investment as general, it is not special towards just ETF or index funds. But do check out my previous videos on compounding, which really shows you the good, the bad, and the effect of compounding. Now, the key point to this video is to start investing in index fund or ETFs. And the reason is because by investing in these funds, you get a diversified portfolio which decreases the risk. Not only that, you are getting the highest return, one of the highest return you can potentially get in a stock market. And yet, you can do all this with minimal effort, time, and cost. That sounds like an obvious choice, isn't it? Anyways, that is it for this video. If you find value from this video, please do give a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you like more of these videos, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.